Welcome back, everybody. This is A. Lou. For my YouTube subscribers, I wanted to start shooting my podcast on video as well as recording them. So I'm pretty excited for the future. But you guys know me, I'm A. Lou, and this is another episode of 24-8 Lou. My last podcast, I actually talked about time. That one was pretty solid because I feel like everybody has a different concept of time and how they move in this world. And what I want to talk about today, I don't want to call it dark because I don't want it to have a certain, vibe or perception of it. We're going to call it shadows. And it's where we all kind of give you like a general idea or the scope of it. It's kind of where we all go hide when we don't want to be seen, where we don't want people to, I don't want to say bother us, but tap in with us or see us in that moment. It's sometimes our lowest time, sometimes just where we go, sometimes where we go just to kind of recoup, recover, or do things we don't want other people to see that we do. The shadows doesn't really get talked about because not the pretty side of us. We all like the light, we love to be in the light. Some of us don't, some of us do, some of us more often than others. And whatever floats your boat, do your thing. I'm not here to judge you, but sometimes people find comfort in the shadows because it's not always, comfortable in the light for them or it's a feel-good vibe for them. And I think, the shadows is a place that you have to, kind of dwell in to conquer rather than to give into. You have to be familiar with it. I like that term. Be familiar with your shadows. Because in those shadows, some people do hide a lot. Some people actually hide who they really are in those shadows. And the person they bring to the light is a person they don't even recognize or even know. So I think, to me, the shadows is a place that us as individuals have to kind of embrace. Because in that darkness, in the hideaway spot, the time that we need to take for ourselves is actually the time that's who we really are. And sometimes it's ugly. We think it's ugly. I don't think it's ugly. I think it's, the bad parts of us as well as the good parts of us is still us. As long as you're listening to yourself and learning from that. So it's not always about being this image of, light and bright and happy and smiles. I think with growth and as well as to inspire others, they should see all sides. I have dark days. There's days where I don't even know what I'm going to do or how I'm going to get out of it or how I'm going to put a step forward. But I kind of just do it sometimes. And at other times, I don't. Sometimes I just sit still or stand still. And in that stillness, I learn so much. In that stillness, I'm like, oh, man. I think people don't like sitting still. It bothers them. But you can learn so much from not moving, not doing things. And I think it's scary. I will tell you that. But in your own, space where you kind of hide away or, recharge, recover, whatever you want to call it, what is in your shadows? What have you put in there? What have you hid away? What don't you want the world to see? It's your decision. It's your choice. There's no reason to uncover if you don't want to. But if you're hiding your own true self in there and the person that's walking to the light is somebody that's not even you, then what does that even mean? So you're spending most of your time, living in the light. It's not even yourself. And then when you go to the shadows, it's who you truly are, but you don't want anybody else to see it. It's almost like you're draining yourself from living an actual life. And it's unfair to who you are to do that to yourself. And I get it, the shadows is a dark place. It's not bright. It's not like everybody's got their eyes on you. So it's easier for you to be yourself and do things that you might think other people think are weird or stupid or whatever it is. Or sometimes you just don't want to do things in front of other people because people are draining. But if people are draining in your life, then it's not that you shouldn't show who you truly are. You should just get rid of those people. Get rid of those people that make you feel like you can't be yourself. They shouldn't be in your life. We have this this idea that we should have this circle or a large number of friends. Or life is, there's no ideal life. There's a life for you and whatever you make of it. But you should have people in your life that support you. You should not walk this life alone. You should have love in your life and kindness and, that type of support. So what I'm saying is, if you're hiding in the shadows of who you really are and the person you are in the light, is you're tiptoeing around so you don't upset anybody, or you don't have to actually confront anything, or be who you are, it's not a life to live. And I think I've seen it a lot where people find comfort in that and only being themselves when they're the only person around. But if you can't walk in your life being who you are every day, to me it doesn't sound like a life worth living. And I don't want to say you should do anything drastic. What I'm saying is, let's try to change the narrative of our own story. If you're living, or if you're working a job or having people in your life that doesn't support who you are, you got to change something. Now, we all have worked a job to where we don't enjoy the job per se, but it's how we receive that job. Maybe it's a stepping stone. Maybe it's something that we should change. Maybe it's something that's helping us grow, a lesson or something, a teaching moment. Whatever it is, I think it's all how we perceive it and how to receive it in our lives. With people, it's just sometimes people are a lesson in our lives. They're in our life for a reason or a season. But we can't make too much of it. And if it continues to hurt us, then we should change it. But I wanted to talk about today, as you guys hear my famous background noises once again, just love living downtown. But I wanted to talk about today was those shadows. What's making up our shadows? What's making up that space? When the light hits it, do we start to get scared because we don't want anybody else to see what's really going on? You know what I'm saying? What if your shadows were brought to light? What does that mean for you? Everything that you hid away, would it destroy your entire life? Or, to your shock, to your dismay, maybe it'll change your life for the better. Because everything that you're hiding in there, maybe the world wanted to see, maybe they didn't. Maybe you lose friends. Maybe everything starts to happen the way it should happen, and you actually get to live your actual life in the light. And you don't have to run away to the shadows to live your life. Because in that darkness, man, you kind of lose yourself sometimes. And you can't even see who you really are. And sometimes it's scary to do that. I know I'm speaking on something that, a lot of people do go to therapy for, seek therapy for. But that's what my podcast is for, is to raise awareness. Because if you're literally burying yourself in those shadows, and all you can do is make jokes of your life in the light. Humor, I use humor too to get over sometimes pain. Because sometimes things are harder. Sometimes I just like to have a good laugh. And my life has seen a lot of things where I could laugh over. But if it's just one big joke to you, then your smile is not even real. If your own life, And I think that's something important that we have to face in this world and in our own life. I'm not here to tell you what to do or how to do it or when to do it. I want you to do it on your own time. But next time you go into those shadows, take a look around what's around you. Take a deep breath with me. What's surrounding you in these shadows? Go into that space right now. What do you see? Who do you see? How do you feel? Do you want to bring some of these things to light? Or should you stop burying all this stuff in the shadows? Should you let these shadows go? Should that space be lessened so the light can be stronger? What do you want? Talk to yourself. How do you feel? Because I'm telling you right now, your life is beautiful. And no matter whether you're in the shadows or you can be seen, the light's within. It's never been the outside. Remember that. But I really want you guys to, have that discussion with yourself, and I just appreciate you guys always tapping in with me. It's always therapeutic for me. You guys know me, I'm A. Lou. This was another episode of 24-8 Lou. And you guys know my mantra, sage, sacrifice, achieve, grow, exceed. Until next time, y'all be good. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Life with Lou. I'm A. Lou, and until next time, y'all have a good one.